So, welcome, dear vegans and non-vegans. I'm EpicVeganPower here on YouTube, and I'm debating. Who am I debating today?
My name's Christian Jimenez.
Okay, very welcome to you, Christian. I'm the voice for the voiceless. Thanks for joining in, and we'll have a debate about justification for meat eating. We already had the debate in the comment section of one of my videos, but just for you to tune in, we want to start from the beginning and make it absolutely clear what your position is, and if we can either debunk it or if you run into some other problems. Okay, so we're doing Name the Trait, Christian.
Yes.
Are you okay with eating animals? Uh,
Yes, I am.
Obviously, yes. And are you okay with eating humans?
No.
Obviously not. Then please state your trait or difference as to why you answer no to the no to the humans and yes to the animals.
Yeah, sure. So my name, the trait that I would use is being of a kind that is a rational kind that has a metaphysical experience. Now, when I say a rational kind of metaphysical experience, from what we know, is the only kind is to be human being. Now, I would not necessarily just apply this to just human beings. It would be any entity or anything that within their nature that has uh, capabilities, meaning within their nature, to have a metaphysical experience. Meaning, I do know the zygote, embryo, fetus, baby, toddler has not demonstrated their metaphysical experience, meaning they can showcase this, or even dead human beings, but it's within our nature. So because of that, I value these beings itself more than any other species or any other thing that exists. So here I'd like to demonstrate is you and I are having this conversation about the laws of logic. Um, we can reflect on what we believe. We can even have demonstrations on complex morality, and nothing else in this world has established that. So, because of that, that is why I value any other thing lesser than human beings itself. Like I said, I want to demonstrate this to the audience is that if there's an alien, a tree, a dog, a rat, it doesn't matter. If they can demonstrate this, then I would be able to put them in the same category as a human being because I don't just rely on species.
Okay,
Mhm.
we heard several things. We heard that's not species. Your first trait was being of a kind that has a metaphysical experience. Am I right?
Rational kind that have metaphysical experience.
Being of a rational kind. Okay. So, just to be clear on that, so that's the difference. The animal is lacking that, and the human is having that trait, so it makes it not okay to eat the human, right?
Well, not necessarily lagging as a human, but like they have no capability and they have not established that. Like, for example, I do acknowledge that we don't have this trait from a zygote, embryo, baby, taller, maybe mentally ill people don't have this trait, but it's showcased and demonstrated as we are capable of this within our nature. So like this is why I said in my opening, you and I right now are having a debate on philosophy and a belief system and the
Mm-hmm.
laws of logic, and no other being has this. So what's gonna you can say favor my position is no other beings having a debate, no other being is having a discussion and questioning what they believe in.
Okay, so we can do one trait at a time, or we can stack the traits. That's however you like. Because I'm hearing different traits. I'm hearing the first one, the having a metaphysical experience, and then
Mm.
having the capability for metaphysical experience, and then having the ability to have a debate, for
No.
example. That's like different traits. Uh,
Well, well, I do want to make it clear it's not different traits. Like, for example, like right now, I'm gonna assume you're not a dog or a cat. You're not AI. Would you agree that you're a biological human being?
uh, yeah, but what I'm trying to get at, it's to pinpoint the trait. That would be the first exercise we have to engage in.
Yeah, and that trait would be being of a rational kind that has a metaphysical experience. So like it would be, so we can just go off one of those traits or both of those traits. Um, so like that's the two traits I would say why
What's
I
your
am okay
Okay, what's the other
with
one?
the
Is it the one with the capability?
yeah, so like human beings have established to be the kind of being that have been a part of a kind that has rational so the first trait's rationality and the second trait's metaphysical. Now they can go intertwine with each other. So the capability means a baby, like you, so like I would say a baby or a dead human being or a mentally ill person, they don't have a metaphysical experience because there something went wrong or something happened in their existence that hindered this capability. But the being itself has established this as a species. Like, for example, a dog can, within a dog's nature, it doesn't matter if the dog is in the womb. Would you agree that a dog barks?
Okay, yeah, let me go back to the trait. So,
Yeah.
are you saying like the whole of the species is a being of a rational kind, like more than 50%, or like 100%, or how much of the humans?
Yeah, so it wouldn't be an individual qualifier. It would just be the species that established to have that capability or established to demonstrate it. Like it doesn't matter the percentage. So like if a cat was able to prove they have a metaphysical experience, then I would value cats as much as humans.
Doesn't matter the
So it does.
percent. Okay. So if on the humans, meaning the humans are capable of being a rational kind, doesn't matter how many of those humans. Could be just one, and the rest is dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I would agree to that. Yeah.
Okay,
So like yeah.
yeah, we try to phrase the trait as such that we can use it. So, mm, there is within the species beings of a rational kind that have a metaphysical experience.
Yes.
Okay, um, so we apply your trait to the next question. So, would you be
Mhm.
okay eating a human being, a group of human beings that have not established, they have absolutely no human being in their group that is of a rational kind that has a metaphysical experience. Would you be okay eating those humans?
So that question right there is a contradiction to what I've just said. Like for example, those human beings that you mentioned, a group of human beings, are a part of what species?
Yeah, it's just a hypothetical. So we
Oh, I know. I, I
take your trait
I
away.
understand that. True. Like I know you're running a reductio to absurdity, and that's completely fine. But like when you ask me a question contradicting my position, is it's it would be disanalogous to my position. Like for example, the if you say a group of human beings that has not established a metaphysical experience, then they would still be a part of the group of human beings. Like for example, I agree
No,
and I can
okay.
see. Oh yeah.
We can do the hypothetical such that we don't run into this contradiction. We can take Earth number two. Yeah, on
Mhm.
Earth number two, humans have evolved in a slightly different way. They have evolved in such a way that
Yeah.
they are not beings of a rational kind that have a metaphysical experience. Are you okay with building human slaughterhouses on this Earth number two?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Sure. Yes, I would agree to that. So like so what I do only understand is that Earth number one has human beings that has established as a metaphysical experience, rational kind, and
Yes.
Earth number two has this thing that that is you would categorize as human, but has not established to have a rational kind or a metaphysical experience.
Yeah, just to,
Um,
yeah, yes.
yeah, sure,
You would
sure,
be okay
yes,
with eating them, farming them, raising them.
yes,
Okay, just
yeah,
to be clear, so we have Earth number
mm,
two. We have
mm,
kids. They can drive cars. They can play chess. They can um, go on Instagram calls and have debates and so on. Just they lack this one trait. That's where you
okay.
draw the line, and you're okay with
Well,
building slaughterhouses, going to kindergartens, picking up all the
yes,
kids, sending them to
okay,
the slaughterhouses, having them
yeah,
screaming and shouting, turning them into burger patties,
mhm,
and then selling
yeah.
them in the supermarkets and eating them.
Yeah, so you can't have debates. You cannot have schools. You cannot have anything that you just mentioned with Planet B. You know that,
Yes,
right? You realize that?
yes, they're all the same. They just lack this one trait. They don't have a metaphysical
No,
experience.
you can't. Well, no, that's completely false. So I'll give you the metaphysical claim of the mind. So, for example, in order for us to have schools, in order for us to have a debate, you must have a mind to be rational, and you must have a metaphysical experience. So, like what you just explained to me would never be part of that group. It's like, for example, when we say school, you agree school is an educational level, and we have to say we must put our kids in kindergarten or junior high, elementary, junior high school, and high school and college. That doesn't exist within a group um, that does not have a metaphysical experience. Because I would even ask you, can you tell me anything else that has debates? You can't tell me any other species, right?
I don't see where that's relevant.
It's very relevant because you just told me Planet B. Like, you gave me a hypothetical where Planet B has debates, Planet B has schools,
Yeah, I
and we
just
can
on
cook them
planet
as
B
burgers.
we just take away your trait. So they can do they can have everything else stays the same. They're just lacking this trait. They're not a rational kind of a being that has a metaphysical
Well,
experience.
well,
So
that's
they're
okay.
basically
So,
they're I don't um okay, in this case, because
uh,
you're adding something to your trait, maybe it would be wise to
um,
explain what do you mean by the metaphysical experience.
yeah, yeah. So, like, I'm not adding in nothing to the trait. So, like, the trait itself, when I say rational kind and metaphysical kind, you agree no other species debates this. No other species questions the laws of logic or what existence is, what it is to mean. So that itself is because we are a being of a rational kind and establish that. Um, so when you're asking me, planet B, it has schools, and planet B has um, I think debates. That's not even possible with with a trait that's missing
Hmm.
metaphysical or rational kind. Like for example,
Mm,
like
that would
planet
be
A.
that you would have the burden of proof on this one. Just to say,
Well,
you
not
would have to
no,
prove
that's
it.
not true. Not necessarily true because you agree no other being has debates, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it hasn't shown yet. We could have a Earth number two, where they have all these different things
Well,
without being of a rational kind and having a metaphysical experience.
okay, can you have a debate without being a rational kind or metaphysical experience?
Uh, yeah, you would have the burden of proof on that one that you can't have it.
Well, no, because you admitted to me you don't know any other thing that has debates, right? Like,
Uh,
because I concede, I would concede and I would agree if there's an alien that's not a human, right? And there's an alien who has a metaphysical experience that are beings of a rational kind, or an ant, or a tree, or a cat, whatever it is, I would agree that itself established that, so I would agree they're on the same level of human beings. So even so, I'm not just basing this off a species, because in my opening it can be anything. If anything has established themselves to have rational kind and metaphysical kind, I would value them. Meaning, I would not eat them
mm,
because you gave me an example of planet A and planet B,
yes,
but
Planet B, the
planet B,
hypothetical, where we have a humankind that has evolved in such a way that they're not of a
yeah,
rational kind that has a metaphysical experience, but the rest stays the same. They can have schools. They somehow manage to do it. They have
man,
babies. They can play Game Boy. And then the question is, are you okay with going to kindergartens, gathering up the kids, and sending them to slaughterhouses, turning
yeah.
them into burger patties? Are you okay with that? Yes or no?
Well, here again, I'll explain it again because I'm glad you're recording this because I'm going to explain it one more time. Is if there's no so this group of humans who do not know what school is, who do not know what debating is, because I think you're trying to say human compared to alien or dog or cat. I think you're using the word human and intertwining it with hoping I bite onto this idea that is an emotional appeal where I
Yeah,
believe in
yeah,
groups
because
of
meat
humans
eaters
who
are so far emotionally removed from reality that we can only use you you just get it when using humans. That's the thing. So, would you like to answer the question to the trait
yeah,
I
so okay,
proposed?
one more. Sure. So like the trait itself is, would I be okay with um eating human B that, remember, they can't debate because debating is going to have a metaphysical experience.
Okay, you have
So
a
like
problem with the trait. Would you like to invalidate your trait and maybe do another trait
there's
because you're not accepting your
no there's
trait?
no invalidation. So how do you debate? What trait what you need to have to debate? Can you answer me that? What debate? What trait? So you and I
I
have a
don't think
debate,
that's
right?
okay. So I'm hearing that your trait is ability to have a debate. Am I right?
No, 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 no. I have established my traits is being a being of a rational kind, and then so that's number one, and having metaphysical experience. But
Okay,
you
explain
cannot
your
have
trait.
one or another.
Explain your
Huh?
trait. Explain your trait. It's too vague to me. I don't understand it.
Sure. So questioning the laws of logic, having a spiritual, demonstrating a religious spiritual connection, demonstrating, questioning the mind and what exists and what not. So those are traits that are going to be, um, what you can say, qualifications of the traits, right? Like, for example, if I was to ask you, are there dogs that question religion or questioning if they raped another dog was wrong or right? Is that even possible within
Okay, I heard
animals?
several things. So, question laws of logic. Would you like to do them one by one, or do you want to stack them? Question laws of logic, demonstrating, uh, questioning the mind, having religious experience. Those are like
Yeah.
three things you named.
Yeah, those are three things I named, right? So yeah, so like, so
Yeah, we
maybe
want to pinpoint the
I'll,
trait. Otherwise,
well, the trait, there's two
you keep
traits I
adding
gave
things.
you. No. There's, so can, I'll prove it right here. Can you tell me what other species debates?
It. I don't see why that's relevant.
It's
Okay,
very
one of your
relevant.
favorite
Hold on.
debates, one of your favorite traits, it's having a debate. Okay, maybe let's use this one. Okay, having a debate. It
Yeah,
seems to
sure.
be
Any,
the all one kill all.
no, it's not one all kill all, but maybe if you can establish a species that does this. Can you establish a species?
That's not how name the trait works. It's
Yes, it
um,
is.
you're
Yes, it
doing
is.
a reverse on it.
No. So name the trait itself to ask is us to name one trait, right? So I
Yes.
named two traits because you cannot have, so rational
Yeah, but
kind can
yeah.
only be metaphysical. So I just said two traits, but you cannot have one or the other without rational kind, right? Like, so you and I are debating right now, and I'm gonna guess you're not a dog, you're not a worm, you're not a cat, you're a human being who has established to have philosophical views.
Okay, is that your
So
trait? Have
because,
established to have philosophical views?
yes, that is part of metaphysics.
Um, yeah, I don't know what metaphysics is, so just like
Yeah.
to pinpoint it, maybe have
Mhm.
philosophical views. You want to use that trait?
Okay.
Is that your trait?
Okay. No, there's so there's two traits that I've
Two
established,
trait. Okay,
right?
what's the
And
other traits?
rational kind and metaphysical experience, and
Okay, what's a
within
rational
that,
kind?
there's a rational kind can be, again, it would be something in the realm and the qualia of the mind to have questioning of what is, what exists, what does not, um what the laws of logic, um
Okay,
so
questioning
like
what is
mm,
que- ability to question, maybe
yeah, sure, we'll go with that so we can move on.
ability ability to question what philosophical views and logical views, something like that.
Yeah, within the species, so like we have established that because you and I agree that we're having a debate.
Okay, so
So
you're
like,
saying you wouldn't be okay with eating like disabled humans that can't
no,
display
no,
those abilities? You're not okay with those?
no, I wouldn't be okay with that. You know why?
Why?
Because they're established to be a part of a kind we are.
Okay,
That goes
they're
back to
part
my
of the
original
greater
opening.
human race that can do it, so you wouldn't be okay with it.
Yeah, so like we exist. Do you know when we exist as biological human beings?
I don't know whether it's relevant. So
Y-
we can apply your trait now.
Okay, hold on.
We have
Yeah,
no.
so on
We're gonna
my point
do the
here.
traits.
Okay, so my
You
point
have
here,
named
so the audience
yeah.
is listening very closely and they can analyze this. In embryology, hold on, let me finish this. We exist after fertilization. So we're a zygote embryo fetus and we can be considered a baby, toddler, adolescent. There's different stages as human beings go on, right? So I do agree that we don't hit a metaphysical experience until our brains are properly developed. Now, there can be an issue where we're not developed yet, or mentally handicapped, or we might be dead. But because we have established this, as I demonstrated with my opponent here, we have this capability within our nature. So I'm going to say this one more time, within our nature. If, for example, if I crush a baby and eat the baby, it's still morally evil and intrinsically wrong, I would argue, not because they have themselves a metaphysical experience, but because they are a part of a kind that baby and I am. The baby and my opponent here is that is what they exist as. So I just want to make it clear my position. It's
Okay.
establishment of the metaphysical.
Okay, I'm hearing your trait is the species has established to be able to
Me-
question.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's. I mean, that's fine.
That's fine. Okay, so okay, we have established a trait. Finally, we hope we can do the same. The
Yeah.
same. We do the hypothetical now. We have Earth number 2, where we have
Mm.
a line of human beings um, that have established themselves to not be able to question themselves. Um, all
Yep.
the other traits stay the same. They're just like us, yeah, but they're not able to question themselves. Yes, so they
Yeah, like babies, right? Like newborn babies.
yeah,
Would you agree?
they're all at the
Newborn.
same cognitive, if you want, they all at the same cognitive level of a babies, but they're adults,
Yes.
they're babies, they're kids, they play Game Boy,
Yes.
they may
Hmm.
baby noises, they may agugu dada, that's how they communicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, they walk on the floor. Are you okay with gathering up those humans, sending them to the slaughterhouse, turning them into burger patties,
Well,
and selling them
yes.
into the
Yes.
supermarkets?
Yeah. So everyone, I want you to listen to the argument very close. He keeps using the reference to human being, and he cannot do that because that's a contradiction to my view. So like what he's trying to do is called I gave you the fallacy. I sent it to you earlier. I can post it up on here. But he's trying to say, I'm saying a group of humans have not done this action yet, so we can eat them and kill them. I even said and demonstrated dead human beings do not have a metaphysical experience, but we cannot eat them and kill them. Why? Is because they have established, not, I'm sorry, not they themselves, but the species has established to have to be a part of a rational kind. And like we agree, I'm sorry, we agree that babies, so newborn babies do not have metaphysical experience. Newborn babies do not have this. Now, if someone kills a newborn baby and cooks them in the oven, I would still say this is intrinsically evil and intrinsically wrong. But they are a part of being I was, because I was a baby, I was a zygote, embryo, fetus. It would not matter. So my opponent here is trying to use a argument of human being that is missing metaphysical experience. But he's essentially missing the point that I'm saying, that only humans have established that. So on planet B, if he wants to call these things human, that's fine. Um, the only issue I have with that, it's a contradiction to what I define as human. So yes, I would be okay with eating these groups of humans, but I don't consider the human, because then we have to define what is a human being. But yes, go ahead. Yeah, we can eat these groups. Planet B, we can eat these groups. Yeah,
Okay,
we can eat these groups
insane
of things.
position. Yeah,
Could I
thank you
call them
for.
aliens?
No, they're humans. They're different line of humans.
What's a human?
Well, do you agree that you
You
just bit the bullet on eating humans?
No, because I just literally broke it down for the audience
So you're
on
not
what
okay
is
with
a
eating
human
those
being.
this line of humans on planet B? You're not okay with
On
eating
Planet
those, right?
B, yes, yes. So like
Are you okay
I
with eating
literally
those?
broke it
Yes or
down
no?
to I broke it down, but yes, sure, yes.
You're okay
And
with
please
eating
post
those?
this up. What are those? What are those?
Those humans in planet B that can't
Wait,
question themselves.
which
They have
okay,
evolved
but
in the line of humans to not have established themselves to question themselves.
okay, okay, so what kind of humans have not established themselves to be
Those
to
those
have a
kind of
metaphysical
humans,
experience?
those kind of humans on
Those kind
planet
of
B.
humans.
This line of humans on
Yes,
planet B
again.
have not managed to establish themselves to be
No, no.
of
Okay.
a kind that can
Am
question.
I arguing for an individual or a species? A species, correct? Just so the
This
audience
species of
understands my
humans that
argument.
have developed themselves on planet Earth, number two, they're lacking the
Yeah.
trait you named. Are you
Okay,
okay with
so
eating those?
yeah, so there's a group of humans that haven't not established themselves to have a metaphysical experience is a contradiction from my premise. Do you understand? You are literally contradicting my premise. So like so planet B, you can't say part of they're humans when I just define what a human is. So, like, if you wanted to establish this planet B to be human B, that's fine. Human Z, human alien P, it doesn't matter because everyone's going to understand my argument here is human
Okay, okay,
beings have
Christian,
established themselves.
Christian. You're
Yeah.
not engaging with your traits. Okay,
Okay.
maybe we're still getting the trait wrong. Maybe the trait is species. Would you like to
No, no,
go with
no.
the trait species?
No, no. My trait
Because you
is a
keep repeating
thing.
that there's a problem that humans on planet B are the same species.
Okay. Yeah. So when you say human, what does that mean?
Well, you define what a human is because you said the human that
Sure.
have established being of a rational kind. So you
Sure.
should know what a human
Sure.
is.
Yes, I absolutely do. So, like, what a biological human being was, which is an organism that exists as what we are. And when I say we, is just a different stage of development. We exist after fertilization. So, like, based off embryology, we exist as a zygote, embryo, fetus, baby, toddler. So that is what is a human is what you and I are.
Well,
Um,
but how do you define human? Like by DNA? DNA molecules? Like different DNA?
Yeah, it's a organism with a biological existence. Not just human DNA, because hair has human DNA, skin has human DNA,
Yeah,
but
no,
our
but
existence. And
the being that has human DNA, is it okay enough of a definition? The humans are the beings
what's
that have human DNA, like
yeah, so like human
specific set of DNA.
yeah, so it'd be a human organism after fertilization. Do you want me to
Okay,
explain that a little more?
okay, is DNA not enough for you?
No, it's not enough because hair cells have human DNA, but they're not
Yeah,
our
but
existence.
living being that has the specific set of DNA. Of course, we're not talking about hair.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Just so the audience is clear, do you understand when we biologically exist? Do you know when that happens?
I don't know how that's relevant to the definition of what a human is.
Yeah, so like after fertilization, a biological human being. So you and I would agree we were a zygote. You agree to that, right?
Yeah, how do you differentiate a human from a dog?
Mm.
By DNA? Is DNA good enough for you?
Yeah, yeah. So human DNA
Yes, okay.
within our yeah.
So is your
Hold on,
is your
not just human DNA or an organism that would meet the qualifiers after fertilization. So like yeah, it's just not human DNA. Like when you say human DNA, we have to get in specifics of like the biology and embryology of when that happens.
okay, so a human is a being that has human DNA after fertilization.
Yes, yeah, we'll go with that. Mm,
Okay,
mm.
that has human. Okay, so we can go back to the planet B.
Yeah.
Now we know what humans are.
Yes.
You
Okay.
define human as the kind of being that after fertilization has DNA. So we have a subset of humans, yeah, different line of
Mm.
humans that have established themselves not to be able to question themselves. Would you be okay with eating those humans on planet B?
On planet B, but again, would the human still qualify as what I just explained what a human is? Being a
Yes, of
part of a
course.
species?
They would be uh,
Uh,
they would be after fertilization and having human DNA. Yes, but
yeah.
they would have maybe if they can't question themselves, I would assume, just to make it clear, they would
Yeah,
maybe be uh,
retarded human beings.
retarded.
Yeah,
They would be on the
babies.
level of a
Yeah,
baby or of a cow.
babies can't do that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they would do
Well, not a cow
agugurada.
because
They would play with Lego
yeah,
bricks.
yeah. So yes. So again, when you keep saying a cow, right? Like, let me. I'm trying
Because
to
you're okay with
explain
eating
my
cows.
whole.
That's why it's also you named the
Yes,
trait as a
I am.
difference to the
I am.
cow. So it's
Yes,
it's
I am
perfectly
because
fine
you
to
know.
use the mind of a cow to represent it because obviously you're okay
Wait, hold on.
with a cow.
No, yes, I am okay with the cow because again, they have not established to be a kind of a species that have established to
Okay,
be a
so
kind of a
if we
metaphysical
have a
experience.
human that's at the same uh,
Oh,
level of
yeah. I'm sorry.
establishment
Hold on.
as a cow,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
no,
would you
no,
be okay
not
with
at
eating
all.
those?
Because here, hold on, you're being intellectually dishonest. So
No.
babies, okay, I'm gonna agree with you here. So baby, if there's a baby and an adult cow, cows are more conscious and more sentient overall than a newborn baby, right? Let's say a healthy adult cow. You agree that they're more sentient, they're more conscious than the newborn baby,
Yeah, would you like
right?
to answer the question?
Okay, what was the question one more time so I can make it very clear?
The question is very simple and it requires a yes or no answer. Are you okay with eating those line of humans on planet B that have
No,
established
because
themselves
again,
not to be
okay,
able to question themselves? Are you okay
yes,
with
okay,
eating those? Yes
could
or
I,
no?
yes. Could I give you a
Yes.
group of human beings that, hold on, could I give you a group of human beings that have
Wait,
not
wait, wait,
established
wait,
this?
wait. Is your answer yes to that?
Okay, we're being intellectually honest here, right? So
Yeah, what's your
there's a
answer on
group
that?
of,
Is it yes or no?
yes, okay,
Y- Yes, okay,
no,
thank
because
you,
the
thank you.
okay,
Is it no?
okay, okay,
What is it?
could
You
I
keep saying
finish?
yes and no.
Yeah. So humans are the only species that have established to have a metaphysical experience. So when newborn babies, we agree, have not established this, it doesn't matter because the species they are a part of has established this. Because you and I are not cows, you and I are not a dog or a cat.
Yeah, do
You
you
agree,
understand
right?
the nature of a hypothetical? We are creating
Yes,
a
I no,
world
I
number
do.
two
I
where
do.
this line of humans have not established themselves to be able to question themselves. Would you be okay with eating those humans?
No, again,
No,
so the
contradiction.
you're no, here's the thing is I
Contradiction.
want the audience to listen to one more
No,
time.
no, 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 no.
He
Christian, you've
Humans
run into a
are a species.
contradiction. Do you
Everyone,
recognize the
humans are a
contradiction?
species. Hold on. Humans are a species that has established themselves to have a metaphysical experience. So he's trying to ask me is what about if there's a group of humans, for example, dead human beings? Could I cook a dead human being and eat them for breakfast? No. Why? Because they are a part of a kind of a species that has established a metaphysical experience. So no matter if the human's dead, no matter if the human's a preborn baby, a fetus, a zygote, a newborn baby who's mentally ill, we cannot cook them and eat them. Why? Because they are a part of our own kind. And what is our own kind? Right now, him and I are having a debate. That is proving the proof of rational kind and metaphysical experience, as he admits, no other species has established this. Can I question you on your moral ethical position? Is that okay?
Want to recognize your contradiction? Yes.
Okay, can you name the contradiction?
Yes, the contradiction is you're okay with eating animals and not eating humans because humans
Yeah.
have established themselves to be able to question themselves and not be able to question themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Yes?
Yeah. Sure, yes.
Okay, thank you for the audience. Yes, we have here another meat eater that ran into a contradiction with his worldview. So, are you able to um, revise your? You will
Mm.
be forced to revise your moral system because
Yeah.
it entails a
No.
contradiction.
Every Okay, so everybody that's listening closely, so like human beings are the only kind of thing that establish themselves
Yeah,
to
it's
have a
okay.
metaphysical experience.
You're
So
repeating
like
yourself. You ran
he
into a
keeps
contradiction.
so everybody, he admits no other being has established themselves. For
I
example,
I
he
don't see
agrees
where
he's a
that's
human
relevant
being.
for the debate.
It's relevant because it's exposing your inconsistency of your worldview, and you keep trying to say it's a contradiction. But I am going to repost this as you and I
I've
agree,
never
and I thank you very
presented my
much.
worldview in this debate. I've
Okay,
just
okay,
asked you
yeah, yeah,
questions and tested your logical
okay,
consistency. You have run into a
yes,
contradiction. So, would you like to
okay.
name another trait?
Yeah, so like everyone that's listening close, and I hope he does post this, he admits only human beings have established to have a metaphysical experience, because name the trait, what happens here is they run into this position and they use these hypotheticals and it's completely fine. But then he asked me a group of human beings that have not established a metaphysical experience, and I agree there have a group of humans, newborn babies have not, right? But they are a part of the species, and because they are a part of the species, the name the trait applies to be a part of the kind that have established that. So like
Yeah,
dead bodies, right?
we've
Dead
taken away
bodies
your
are not
traits on
alive, they have
planet
no metaphysical experience.
Christian. On planet 2, we have a line of humans that are not part of this, that have not established themselves to be able to question. And you're still not okay with eating those.
Yes, you
That's a
know
contradiction.
why am I not okay? No, no. Why am I not okay with that?
We're
Why? Go
taking
ahead,
away the
so the
trait,
audience
and you're
can listen
still
to,
not
because
okay
I
with
am going to
eating
repost
those.
this. But so why am I not okay for eating?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. You can post it as much as you want and comment it and
How
so
do
on.
you take away the? Hold on. How do you take away the trait when you cannot establish the trait that itself from non-humans? When you
You have
agree
named the
that
trait.
only
We can
humans.
always take away the trait because you say that's a trait that differentiates the animals from the humans. So we
No,
can
no, no, no.
take away a
It's
trait from a subset of humans, and
Okay.
you're still not okay with eating those. You
Yes,
can't make it
because
such that we
humans.
can't take away the trait.
Yes, yes, I can. Because humans are what? A part of a species, right?
So your trait is species.
No. Okay, everyone listen
You
closely.
keep
I'm
hip
gonna
hopping
ask
from
him
from to
what
species.
no, what is the trait that has established a metaphysical experience? Can you answer for me? What thing has that?
I don't see what
Can you
that's
answer me
relevant for
that?
the
What
debate.
what kind of thing has
I
established that?
asked you for the trait. You named the trait. We take away
Human,
the trait.
because it's human.
So your
If
trait
it
is
was a
species.
dog, I would
Is it
agree with
species?
you. Yes, I yes, but you can't
Would
take
you
away
like
the
to do
trait
species?
from a human.
Would you like to do species? We can do species as
No,
well if you
again,
want.
everyone listen closely. I even said it doesn't matter the species. No, it doesn't matter the species. If something, hold on, if it's a cat, a dog, or a plant that has established to have a metaphysical experience, right? Then that is the trait I only hold to only value these things. So if a dog has established a metaphysical experience, I will stop eating dog. I'll stop eating cat. I'll stop eating worms or trees
Okay.
or whatever the case is.
So we're clear on that. So you're saying that doesn't matter the
Yeah.
species. So we have a subset of
Yes.
humans on planet B that you said it doesn't
Mhm.
matter the species. So they can be humans and they don't
Yeah.
display your trait. So they
How are
haven't
they human?
established themselves.
Okay.
They're human because they have human DNA
Okay.
and they are after fertilization. That's how you define humans. So that makes them human. Yes,
Okay.
it's not your
Wait,
trait
but
that makes
again,
them
it's a
human. It's your
contradict. Hold on.
definition. No,
Okay.
you're
No, no.
running into problems.
It's a
That's why
contra.
you're struggling.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah,
Because again, as
you have
everyone's
produced a
listening
contradiction.
closely,
Would you like to name a different trait now? Your trait has driven
no,
you to a
it's a
contradiction.
trait. Because you agree. You hold on. Let me ask you this: Who has metaphysical experience? What kind
That's
of thing has that?
irrelevant to the
Humans?
debate.
It no, it's not. Everyone, listen closely. I'm gonna repost this. Everyone, listen closely. I'm gonna ask him one more question. What kind of thing has metaphysical experience? I'll let him answer. What kind of species or thing? Go ahead,
How is
because
it
I am
relevant to the
recording this.
debate?
You guys, he can't name anything else. But
Yeah,
guess what?
because it's
If I said
irrelevant to the
pain, he will
debate.
say he.
You're not.
No, you. If I told you pain, you would say pain. If I told you um um emotional stress, you would agree pigs have emotional stress. But the only thing you cannot refer to anything else other than the trait with humans and other mammals is metaphysical experience. And you would have to admit it's only humans that have established that. Because again, as I repost this, I want
Yeah,
everyone to
and then
listen
we
to
have a planet
exactly
B
what
where
I'm
we
saying for my
take.
argument. I can be all wrong. Let's say I'm wrong. I have it all wrong, and this guy beat me on name the trait. That's completely fine. So I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
justify
Okay.
eating meat. That's the
Yeah.
conclusion.
Okay. So is it okay? Because the last 40 minutes we've been investigating my position. Could I ask you why? Okay. Okay. Cool. Sure.
Yeah,
So
would you like
okay,
to name a
so
different trait? You
what
ran
would
into
meet
a
your
contradiction with the
justification
first one.
qualifiers? So like what is justification? I can't
You st-
justify it.
you
So
still have
tell
to
me what would
you
meet
still
your
have to name a
requirements.
valid trait, a trait that justifies your
You don't
meat
even
eating.
know. No. Wait, hold on. You don't even know how to answer that. So you just told me I don't know how to justify eating meat. Yeah,
Not
metaphysical
that you don't
experience,
know.
yes. That's a
You
trait.
didn't
You
have a
agree with that.
justification.
Only humans have that.
Your first trait ran into a
that's
contradiction.
that's that's a
Would you
trait.
like me to rephrase the contradiction?
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So everyone listen closely. Everyone can analyze who knows philosophy of ethic and metaphysics, and everyone can analyze that. Let's say I lied. I'm here just lying about everything. So I'm asking him, why can't we eat meat? Why can't I kill a dog and eat it? Why can't I kill
Oh,
a cat
okay, okay.
or
That's
a
an easy
pigeon?
question. That's very easy question. For the
Go.
same reason, it is wrong to eat humans.
What is that reason? What is that?
Well, you tell me. What's the reason? Why is it wrong to
No,
eat
no, 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 no,
humans?
no, no. No, no. You told me it's the same reason. What's the same reason?
The same
What's the same
reason is
reason?
the reason. Okay, now for the audience, we're going into a new topic. Um,
Yeah.
we we're gonna reveal because not all the meat eaters know what the reason is why we value humans. They usually name
Okay.
some kind of weird traits. It might be species or this or that, or in this
Weird
case,
trait. Okay.
the ability to be able to question themselves. So the trait that makes it
Mhm.
morally wrong to eat humans is and also animals, of course, because they share the same trait, is value. Intrinsical and extrinsical value.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
You're learning something, I guess.
So okay, so value, right?
Yeah, would you
If
like me to explain what I mean by value?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, what is value based off? Is it sentience? Is it like living? What's the value based off?
Yeah, we can divide
Yeah. So,
value
like, for
into
example,
two
I eat a baby
branches.
human, and then
Yeah, I can explain it to you. So
Mhm.
we can divide value into two branches, and they would have to exhibit both traits. So intrinsical
Okay.
value is sentience, being having feelings, being able to feel pain, being able
Okay.
to have a debate, to question, to have a metaphysical experience, as you name it. That's intrinsical
Mhm.
value. That's everything that pertains to the mind. And extrinsical value. That's, for example, the pain that relatives would feel if you died, or being out of flesh and blood and organs and bones. That's extrinsical value. So you would have to exhibit both of those traits. I mean,
Yeah.
combine into one. It's value. You can combine it into value, and that's what makes it wrong to eat humans. And
Okay.
because animals exhibit the same, yeah, they're not different from us in that aspect. It's also wrong
Okay.
to eat animals.
Okay. So you agree it's subjective? Do you agree it's subjective or objective?
I don't know what is
Subjective, right?
What do you mean by that?
Subjective means trivial, like mind qualia. Like, for example, like I might say eating meat's bad, you might say eating meat's good, or vice versa, right? So like I might say I like eating human babies, and you might say I like eating plants, just because I like the taste. So is your morality, because I think you're leaning towards, it's called moral ethical utilitarianism. Could I give you an example? Do you think sentience is objective, meaning something has to have sentience to be a moral qualifier? Meaning, if something is not sentient,
Oh, you're the
then
one where
something being wrongly done.
you wanted to ask what my position is and if I only valued sentience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just explained to you. Yeah, you want to run a reductio on sentience and then do things and
Yes.
this and that. Yeah, but I just
Yeah,
explained
yeah.
to you, and that's why you're struggling now, because it's not only sentience. I explained to you it's intrinsical and extrinsical value. So it's
Okay, cool,
sentience
cool.
and being out of flesh and blood.
Hold on. Flesh and blood has to be met.
Yeah, that's extrinsical
Wait,
value.
hold on.
So if you had a human arm laying on the side of the road, it would
Mhm.
shock you. But if that arm was made out of wood or straw,
Yeah.
it wouldn't bother you. So that's
Okay.
basically where we go to. It has to be made out of flesh and blood, have extrinsical value. That means if you see it, you get shocked. Yeah, but if you see a doll made out of plastic, it doesn't. You don't care
Yeah,
about
yeah.
a doll made out of plastic being massacred and turned into
Okay.
burger
So
patties.
so it only has to meet one qualifier of like the two separations that you did, because I
No,
think you're
two.
using more.
Both. Both.
Oh, it has to meet both. Okay,
Of
okay, cool.
course, it
So
has
let me
to
give
have
an
both intrinsical and extrinsical value.
okay, cool, cool. So let me give you an example, hypothetical, right? So sentience is, you agree, has to be met. Do you agree that sentience is a qualifier, or that doesn't have to be there? Sentience itself.
And I just it needs to have value. Value
What gives
is
the
a
value?
qualifier.
Yeah, but
Value
what gives the value?
having intrinsic and extrinsic value.
Wait, hold on.
Intrinsic value meaning, for example, sentience and being able to feel pain, being able to question
Okay,
things, and
okay, cool.
extrinsic value
Yeah.
being made out of flesh and blood, having the relatives feel pain when you die, for example, stuff like that.
Okay, okay. So if both of those rounds have to be met, so like you just named external and I think intrinsic, meaning internal.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, the words
like
are intrinsic and extrinsic, but we could say internal and external. Okay,
okay,
that's
that's
like
fine.
synonyms.
So like, yeah, so like some babies are born and they never have sentience. You know that, right? Where their brain's not developed
Yeah,
enough.
but they
Like,
have
so they never
external
have
value.
sentience. They never will gain sentience, but they're born alive. And there's, okay, cool. But you just said they must meet the two qualifiers, right? They must meet that. If you want to change it to just
I
one, that's
understand
fine.
where my error was. Okay, I have to retract. It's and or. If you want to do it like mathematical, it's and or. So they can have
Mhm.
um, it's an and or connection.
And or okay, so a baby's born, they never have sentience, right?
Yeah,
But
let's say
that being
a
itself,
baby is missing intrinsic value, it still has extrinsic value. Okay, so that would make it wrong.
okay, okay, hold on. So if there's a baby born, they don't have intrinsic value, they have external value, right?
Yeah. By the
But
way, for the
what
audience, he's
if,
doing name the trait with me now and trying to test my
yeah,
traits. So yeah,
yeah, no, that's
that's
fine.
gonna be interesting.
Okay, so like, so there's no internal value, there's just a external value, meaning if a mother wanted to sell her baby to to be used as a sex object, right? And this baby's being used for pleasure and happiness of another human, but no one knows about this. What is wrong externally? Because like
It has
I don't
external
know if you know
value.
this,
The baby is still made
based
out of flesh and
on
blood,
our
right?
true, but what do you mean by
So
that?
it still maintains value. It retains value. So it would
Wait,
be immoral
value in
to
what
abuse
way?
it.
You can't abuse nothing that has sentience. or can you?
Sorry, what? I didn't
Yeah,
understand.
so a baby, yeah, so can a dead body be abused?
What do you mean by can?
A
Like
dead body.
we're asking more questions. Is it okay or
Yes, we are.
should we?
Yeah, like no, no, I'm not asking like should we or ought we, but the being itself, do they have value?
Well, a
Like
dead
if a
human.
dead body cannot feel,
Of course, it has value. That's why you
wait, the
you you find it repulsive to eat dead humans or to cut off limbs of
yeah,
them or to
true,
misuse
true,
them, mistreat them because they have external value. They're still
true.
made out of flesh and blood,
Wait,
and
wait,
if
wait.
relatives saw that or other humans saw
Hold
that,
on.
they would
I
they would
agree with you.
shiver,
Okay, so
have a shiver down the spine.
okay, so I agree with you. I agree with you, right? So okay, so let me ask you this. Are you against abortion?
I don't know what's the how that's relevant to the debate.
Because I'm a pro-life advocate. I believe in abolitionists of abortion. So I'm a hardcore anti-abortionist. So I'm gonna test your whole worldview
You're
right now.
pro-life.
So do you believe in
You're
yes?
pro-life.
No,
Oh
no,
yeah,
I'm anti-abortion.
you're
I'm
anti-abortion.
anti-abortion.
You're not even pro-life for the animals, but
Yeah, you're not pro-life for plants. You're not pro-life for plants.
oh, you want to do plant
Right?
entity?
Why is
Let's
that?
go. Let's go. You want to do plant entity?
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. So let me make this clear. We can massacre, rape plants. And then you might say, well, you can't, it's not possible to rape a non sentient thing. Then I can ask you, is it okay to rape a dead body? And then you say, well, that's wrong. Trust me, we can go down this route. So let me ask you this one more time. Is it okay to kill human beings that you discriminate against because they have not reached the level of sentience? Again, I'm
No, because
recording
they
this.
have
So
external
let me
value.
ask
I
you this
repeat
one more
myself.
time. Can we massacre a group of human beings? Wait, wait. External value based off what? Women have abortions during sentience, before sentience. So when can a woman kill her child? Once they gain, I'm sorry, before sentience, maybe after. I'm gonna repost this,
Dude,
by the way.
you're not understanding my traits, right? Extrinsic value, what is that's made out of flesh and blood. It would be immoral to kill a human made out of flesh and blood. And you defined human.
When do we
It's
exist? Wait, hold on.
you defined
That's
human.
fine. That's
I'm
fine.
agreeing with your definition.
Hold on. Okay, so abortion is
If your
wrong.
reductio is I'm anti-abortion, yes. Yeah, you want to
Wait,
have
wait.
this gotcha moment where you find out that I'm at pro-abortion, but I'm not.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're anti-abortion, right?
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I do know
You think vegans are
some.
pro-abortion?
Well, some before sentience, they are. Many are before sentience.
They're made out of flesh and blood. Okay. I
Oh yeah, I
explained to you.
agree. So
Yeah.
hold on. I think. Wait, do you you're familiar with Dr. Avi?
Ask yourself, Dr.
He's a vegan,
Avi,
and
Lichtblick.
yes,
I know them.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Oh, that's cool. Cool. You know, they all take a different position, right, on the whole issue. You know why?
I
Because
haven't looked into their
personhood. Oh, okay.
position. They might differ. Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Well, check this out. Okay, cool. That's completely fine. But I gotta get going. But um, so we can post this video. You have my 100% agreement to it. I do got to get going. I thank you for giving me your time. I appreciate it. So I'm gonna go have a few drinks. I gotta meet up with some friends. But
Okay. Thanks for the
I
debate.
thank you for your time,
Thanks
man.
for
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, then have a good one. Bye
All right, you
bye.
take care, man. Bye bye.
Okay, so just to recap a little bit, so this guy ran into a contradiction with his trait as it was expected. He's not okay with eating humans that lack his trait that would have been have established of being of a rational kind that has a metaphysical experience, or he renamed the trait that humans that have established themselves to be able to question things or themselves, to be able to question in general. So this produced a contradiction, and then he wanted to run some different name the traits debunking tentatives with me, because he's a anti-abolitionist, no, anti-abortion. That's the thing. So he wanted to debunk me there, but I'm staying logically consistent and have a moral view that is valuable, that is good, yes, intrinsically good. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked the debate. Chris here, Christian, um, if you want to come up with another trait sometime, I welcome you to test your different traits, because it seemed to be species, but you didn't want to go onto the trait of species, so maybe you come up with another trait. Otherwise, you ran into a contradiction, so it's time for you to revise how you value humans and animals, and that you recognize that there is no trait difference that can justify eating meat. Especially if you're pro-life, then you should also be pro-animal life. Um, maybe taste is also a trait that is named often, so this also doesn't hold up. Yeah, well, that's the debate for you. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good one. It was early in the morning, 5:30 for me, but he's on the other side of the world. It was like 10 p.m., so now he needs to wash the debate down with some alcohol. Yeah, thanks for watching. I see you in the next one.